Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you well from whatever you're watching this channel. Now, the remarks that are released by MURKOMEN and other leaders within UDA
on remarks made by Roads and Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen on Monday over Rwanda's governance mode
has ruined Kenya's relationship with the neighbors. And that is what RAILA Amolo Odinga is saying regarding RUTO's administration.
Rwanda is not like Kenya. You know, like the president said in the interview that he had with you, we must live with certain expectations as a country that comes with democracy. Rwanda is autocracy, and there whatever the president says is the law.
RAILA blamed Kenya Kwanza administration for the poor diplomatic relations between Kenya and the East African community countries that even saw neighboring head of states miss the 60th Jamhuri Day celebration. You know, for the first time in history, we found ourselves in a scenario whereby all the sitting heads of state in East Africa gave our event a wide berth. They never attended Kenya's Jamhuri Day celebration. That is unlike what has always been done before. We've always seen, Museveni, or sometimes Mama Suluhu, or sometimes Somalia counterpart, or Sudan, or Rwanda, Burundi. But what happened recently is what RAILA Amolo says, ruining of diplomatic relationship between Kenya and neighboring countries. And RAILA says that this is because of the carelessness of certain leaders within UDA. So I want us to go through a detailed statement of what RAILA Amolo Odinga has said, which appears to be a response to the messes within UDA government. But before you do that, please allow me to welcome you back to this channel and encourage anybody who wishes to support us to please support us by simply subscribing to this channel and liking our video. That is the only support I request from you, ladies and gentlemen. And to those who supported us before, I want to say that I'm forever grateful for that support, because without you, this channel could not have been where it is right now. So let's head over to the analysis of this session. So according to RAILA Amolo Odinga,
yesterday, we opened another war with Rwanda through a cabinet secretary, using intemperate and undiplomatic language against the friendly neighboring member of the East African community. The statement by Azimio leader RAILA Odinga calling out Murkomen over his language went on to state, the coarse language against the great country and friendly people of Rwanda is most unfortunate. Rwanda is the size of Switzerland and is actually bigger than Singapore. It is not the size that makes nations, but the vision and leadership.
And in that statement from Murkomen, the CS for transport, he said, and he made a specific reference to Rwanda, that the system of governance there, or their form of governance there, is autocratic. And for those of you who know the meaning of being autocratic, or to those who don't know, let me just give you a brief description. A system that is regarded to be one that is full of autocracy is a system of governance where one person decides everything. So Murkomen was literally trying to say that Rwanda, the leader there is autocratic, but in Kenya, the leader here is democratic. And to justify his point, he said that in Kenya, before a project is initiated or done, or rather if a government wants to do something, there are people who will go to the court, probably to stop the project, or maybe to initiate some legal proceedings on the project, thereby slowing down a project, That is what Murkomen attempted to say in that speech. So I want us to address this speech that Murkomen made, because Raila has already reacted to it. So Raila's reaction to Murkomen's mistake was that our leaders carefully and safely navigated around challenges that could injure the East African relationship. Since the reception of the East Africa community as it exists today, the relationship has generally been on an upward trajectory. Unfortunately, since Kenya Kwanza came to power, matters have taken a turn for worse. Kenyans have realized that there is something terribly wrong with the relationship between us and our East African neighbors when we celebrated the milestones of 60 years since independence, because we must tell Kenyans that our neighbors are not to blame for this negative development in our relationships. At the center of the continuing damage of our relationship is in East Africa, is the unbridled greed and corruption practiced by the Kenya Kwanza RUTO government and the arrogance and foul mouth that has come with it. I think I agree with Raila Amolo Odinga to some level, especially because if you are very keen on the interview that was conducted on Sunday, our dear president was struggling to compare Kenya and other countries, especially when it was asked that how comes the currency in Kenya inaenda chini whereas the currency Uganda TZ inapanda against the dollar. The response was that Tanzania, Uganda, they belong in a league lower than the league that Kenya belongs in. That Kenya belongs in the same league as South Africa, Egypt, Morocco. That is what I heard. And then the day that followed, Murkomen amplified that narrative. But in the midst of his amplification, he made a mistake and said that Kenya is democratic, whereas Rwanda is autocratic. So this word autocracy is what did not sit well with the people of Rwanda, because now Murkomen was literally trying to say that Paul Kagame exercises autocracy, and probably our dear Kenyan president practices democracy. Well, he attempted to defend why he's making those allegations. He said, or assertions, he said, because the problem with Kenya is that when you want to do a project as a government, mtu atenda kotini kustop your project. So there'll be a series of court battles kabla project ifanyike. Court battles zunguke. All of this just to, alafu at the end of the day, maybe courts itasema, okay, the project should take off. But he says that in countries like Rwanda, the opposite is what happens. So when they want to do something, they simply do it. Whether you go to court or you don't go to court, hiyo ni shauri yako. The government will simply do it. So he was trying to defend his point hivyo, lakini the word autocracy ndio haikupendezwa sana na watu wa Rwanda. And I think there's a time also, maybe it could have been also referring to maybe Uganda, I'm not sure. But the word autocracy ndio shida hapa imekujia. Na ndio maana Raila Amolo Odinga anasema kwamba these people are damaging the relationship between Kenya and the East African community. The East Africa community, Rwanda is part of them, Burundi is part of them. Uganda, Tanzania, Somalia, all these are part of the East African community. Sasa the fact that wanaambiwa kwamba others ni democratic, wengine ni autocratic, hiyo kitu imeleta shida. Shida ambayo hiyo statement imeleta ni kubwa. You saw what happened with the DRC. Mpaka ambassador kawa recalled when there was that meeting that was conducted in Nairobi, and then the utterance that was made, an utterance that was literally trying to support the opposition faction. The government had to withdraw their ambassador kwa sababu they did not find it diplomatic for probably Kenya to engage in such kind of debates. But this one, I think Mudavadi attempted to salvage the scenario, lakini the damage had already been done. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do you make of this remark Raila gave regarding the messes of UDA, especially in matters diplomatic? Just go below the comment section and tell us how or what's your opinion regarding the diplomatic relationship between Kenya and its neighboring countries, because Raila says that this government is denting that relationship between the two sides. So just tell us below the comment section. Now, if perhaps you're watching this video and you're not subscribed before, please support this channel by subscribing and also by liking this video. To those who supported us before, I want to say that I'm forever grateful for that support, because without you, this channel cannot grow. So until we catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.